Right now on Good Morning America First Look, President Trump gives a tour of the White House renovations as Congress takes the next step toward reopening the government. How long the air travel chaos could last. Plus, Trump talking grocery prices.
Mid-November feeling like mid-January in much of the country. The snow, the crashes, and the frigid morning commute for millions.
Tensions rising in the Caribbean, Venezuela announcing a mobilization of military forces just as the U.S. warship enters the region.
Caught on camera, this commuter train operator appearing to fall asleep at the controls. One of the passengers describing the wild ride that followed.
A warning about romance scams. We hear from a man whose photos have been used to make fake profiles for 15 years.
The stunning video, a new bridge suddenly collapsing. What may have caused it?
A powerful solar storm brings the northern lights into the deep south.
And the beauty queen who won her pageant. Singing death metal.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Well, that's one way to stand out.
Yeah, exactly. Good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Victor Okendo. We begin with the government shutdown. It could end as soon as today when the House is expected to vote on a spending bill.
Yeah, the bill does not extend Obamacare subsidies, which Democrats were fighting for. Healthcare is just one issue, adding to the concerns about rising prices, from groceries to heating bills. In a new interview last night, President Trump addressed those concerns while also giving a tour of the work being done at the White House. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
President Trump on Fox News last night showing off renovations at the White House.
To come to the Oval Office, you had to go through this room. It was an embarrassment, okay? And I took it down and rebuilt it. Same as she had it, but at a much higher level. And take a look at the floor. Take a look at the marble.
Promising his ballroom will be the most beautiful in the world, then answering this question about gold in the Oval Office.
Why not? You can't imitate gold, real gold. There's no paint that imitates gold.
So these aren't like from Home Depot or something?
No, this is not Home Depot.
The president also addressing concerns about the economy amid the government shutdown, which analysts say has cost billions of dollars each week, leaving millions of Americans without paychecks for 43 days.
The economy is my thing, and we have the greatest economy in history. The Democrats give false talk, and the Republicans, and I say it all the time, Republicans have to talk about the fact that prices are down.
But the president does concede some prices are up.
The only thing is beef.
Coffee
is a little high because the ranchers are doing great. Coffee, we're going to lower some tariffs. We're going to have some coffee come in. We're going to take care of all this stuff very quickly, very easily. It's surgical. It's beautiful to watch. But our costs are way lower.
Some retailers have been slashing prices as more shoppers tighten their budgets. Just yesterday, Target announcing it's cutting prices on more than 3,000 products, including food and essentials. Kroger and Walmart announcing deals for Thanksgiving. And if Congress approves the deal to reopen the government, millions will see their SNAP food benefits restored. House lawmakers now scrambling back to Washington for today's vote, some coming thousands of miles by car or even motorcycle to avoid flight delays. The deal they're voting on does not include extending subsidies to keep health insurance from skyrocketing, a major sticking point for Democrats.
We're going to continue to make the point to our Republican colleagues. Our position is simple: cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save health care.
Many Republicans argue Obamacare is broken and claim those subsidies are more beneficial to insurance companies than working families.
We do have to get to the business of making health care in America affordable again. I think we can do that by reducing the reliance and the influence of pharmacy benefit managers, which are driving up costs, and actually get to true health insurance reform, getting us back to more of a free market.
And even if all House members make it back to Washington on time, Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes. A new Democrat from Arizona will also be sworn in today who could play a role in this tight vote. But that bill to reopen the government is ultimately expected to pass. Sophie, Victor.
Lionel, thank you. More than 8,000 flights have now been canceled since Friday, but more air traffic controllers are returning to work, hoping to see a paycheck soon. Still, the Transportation Secretary is warning of massive disruptions if the shutdown continues.
I think we might find airlines that have to make decisions. Do they keep flying? If this doesn't open, you might have airlines that say, we're going to ground our planes. We're not going to fly anymore. That's how serious this is.
Once the government reopens, flight disruptions are expected to continue for at least several days as airlines get back on track.
The Arctic blast across the eastern U.S. will moderate a bit today. More than a foot of snow fell in West Virginia, where a semi-truck slammed into a police cruiser before flipping over. Nearly a foot of snow also fell north of Syracuse, New York. Wind chills this morning are in the 30s for the deep south, and it's feeling like the 20s in the Midwest. Your full forecast coming up. But first, new tensions in the Caribbean as Venezuela announces a mobilization of military forces, just as the largest U.S. warship approaches. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details. Nicole, good morning.
Well, Sophie, good morning. The Pentagon has been stepping up operations in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific, attacking at least 19 alleged drug smuggling boats in recent weeks, killing nearly 80 people. Now America's largest warship, the USS Gerald R. Ford, has sailed into the region. The U.S. buildup there now totals about 15,000 troops, more than a dozen ships, and more than 80 planes. Now, in response, Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, has ordered a massive mobilization, about 200,000 troops, along with missile units, fighter jets, and civilian militias. His defense minister says the country is preparing for guerrilla-style warfare if the U.S. strikes. Now, Maduro accuses President Trump of fabricating a war, but the White House insists the U.S. is only targeting drug cartels, not trying to topple the Maduro regime. Victor.
All right, Nicole, thank you. Dozens of cruise ship passengers, including some Americans, are safe after a 40-foot catamaran that they were on sank off the coast of the Dominican Republic. Only minor injuries were reported among the 55 people that were on board.
Overseas, Turkey says 20 soldiers were killed in this crash of a military plane. It was flying over the nation of Georgia when it lost control. No word on what caused the crash.
An infant formula recall linked to a botulism outbreak is expanding. ByHeart is now recalling all batches of its whole nutrition infant formula nationwide. 15 babies who were fed the formula have been hospitalized with botulism, a rare but serious illness that attacks the nerves.
Now to Ohio and a gruesome murder, a 13-year-old targeting his neighbor. The question now, does the punishment fit the crime?
This morning, the family of a woman murdered by her 13-year-old neighbor is slamming a plea deal that will allow her killer to walk free in less than a decade.
It doesn't feel like justice. The sentence you face will never equal the lifetime of loss you caused.
The Ohio teen, not publicly named because he's a minor, has now pleaded guilty to murder and burglary, admitting to sneaking into 64-year-old Sheila Tenpenny's bedroom last February before beating and strangling her.
I do feel sorry for you. Sorry that you had a family that did not teach you right from wrong.
Investigators say the boy plotted the murder for months, even researching how to pick the perfect victim and how to strangle someone. Then, in the hours after the crime, police say he took to social media to brag about the killing, saying, "This one was a fighter." Investigators say they quickly tracked down their suspect because Tenpenny managed to fight back before her death. Police say they found the boy's blood and hair at the scene despite his attempts to clean up. Now, under the newly accepted plea deal, the boy will stay in juvenile lockup for as long as legally allowed under Ohio law, meaning he'll walk free when he turns 21. Critics fear because he planned this crime for so long, he may kill again. But the boy's lawyer insists this is a fitting punishment for a killer who is so young.
As part of the plea deal, the teen must complete school and attend therapy while in custody.
Now to this stunning sight for stargazers. A solar storm brought out the northern lights as far south as Mississippi.
Beautiful.
They are formerly known as Aurora Borealis. We received these stunning images from Utah as well, and across the Midwest. Unreal. The colors are caused by the interaction between the Earth's magnetic field and the sun's plasma.
Time now for your Wednesday weather.
Good morning. One really cold warning left here in this cold blast, sub-freezing wind chills down in the southeast where we have freeze warnings, 20s and 30s into the northeast. Still some lake snows, a few more inches upstate New York into New England. Storm coming on the west coast. Showers today turn steadier later. Rain can reach all the way down to L.A. tonight. We could have 1 to 2 inches of rain in California, maybe 2 to 4 inches to the north. Some snows in the Cascade and the Rockies. Here comes the warmth, erasing the chill in the east. 70s and 80s in the south. Stays a little cool in the northeast, but still a little closer to normal. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, the news overnight about the Mega Millions jackpot.
But first, this train operator appearing to fall asleep at the controls. We hear from one of the passengers sent on a wild ride.
Plus, a warning about romance scams and the photos used in fake profiles. Back now with a San Francisco train operator apparently falling asleep at the controls. At one point, the train went 50 miles per hour around a curve, blowing past a stop where commuters were waiting. Passengers were thrown from side to side, one claiming to suffer a concussion.
We're all laying on the floor. Some people are screaming, most of us are just frozen, and I'm just waiting for full impact.
The train narrowly missed hitting a car before the driver finally stopped. Now, that driver is no longer operating trains.
We turn now to romance scams online. Imagine someone making a fake social media profile using your pictures. Then imagine that happening over and over again for 15 years. The California man says that's been his reality.
This is so rampant, not just with my photos, but with other people too.
When California fitness trainer Scott Cole scrolls through social media,
this was me in France.
The 63-year-old says he often sees his own profile photo being used in bogus profiles.
Waterford, Ireland.
Cole says this has been happening for more than a decade on multiple sites.
Here my likeness was being used to do something really awful.
Cole's one of thousands of Americans affected by online romance scams. The FBI reports $50 billion in losses from similar schemes between 2020 and 2024.
There are a number of people that I've talked to directly whose images are being used to lure in unsuspecting people.
One of those people fooled by a Cole impersonator was Jennifer Lisa.
I was skeptical in the beginning, but his profile was very, very large.
Soon, Lisa built an online relationship with the imposter using Cole's photos. But when the man said he needed money in connection with his job, she got suspicious. She did a reverse image search online and realized someone was pretending to be Cole.
There really is no end in sight for someone like him, because the people who have the power to make this stop are not going to make it stop.
After ABC News reached out to TikTok, it took down 4 fraudulent profiles using Cole's photos. LinkedIn told us it proactively detects and removes fake accounts. Meta did not get back to us.
I'd love for technology to catch up and help stop this from going on.
And it's still not clear who has been creating these fake profiles using Cole's photos.
Well, the Mega Millions jackpot once again growing overnight. Nobody won last night's $900 million drawing, so Friday night's drawing will be at least $965 million.
Not bad. I'll split it with you.
Yeah, perfect.
Coming up, the video of a bridge collapsing, what authorities are saying.
Also ahead, artificial intelligence used to copy the voice of actors, and now the AI singer with a #1 song. We're back with this bridge collapsing into a river in China. The bridge just opened in September. The collapse started with a landslide, potentially triggered by a nearby dam project. The bridge was closed at the time. No one was hurt.
Jimmy Kimmel was emotional last night, remembering his longtime bandleader and friend, Cleto Escobedo. Kimmel says they were best friends since they were 9 years old, saying he slept over Cleto's house 33 nights in a row one summer.
Even though I'm heartbroken to lose him, I'm going to take yet another lesson from him and acknowledge how lucky I was to have him literally at my side for so many years. Cherish your friends. We're not here forever.
Cleto Escobedo was just 59. No cause of death has been released.
We turn now to artificial intelligence taking over more of the entertainment landscape.
It's Matthew McConaughey's signature line.
All right, all right, all right.
But the next time you hear it, it may not be McConaughey saying it. The Oscar winner now signing a deal with AI software company 11 Labs to produce a virtual replica of his voice.
I think Matthew McConaughey's involvement is really the biggest that we've seen of a living celebrity in something like this.
He's not the only one.
I am thrilled to announce that my voice and I are joining 11 Labs. Try it for yourself today.
You may recognize that voice as Oscar winner Michael Caine. Except that wasn't him. It was his 11 Labs replica. The company now launching what it calls the Iconic Voice Marketplace, a platform where creators can request access to celebrity voices from Kane to Liza Minnelli to even long-gone stars like Judy Garland. But it's not a free-for-all. Users submit requests that must be approved by the rights holders before projects can move forward. Still, many worry the AI revolution will put voice actors out of work.
On the one hand, if an actor has given their consent, this is their name, image, and likeness that is portrayed in the most authentic way, which I think is the cinematic experience that we all want. However, it could come at the cost of other jobs.
While some stars are licensing their voices, others are being built from scratch. Poet Talisha Nikki Jones has created an AI R&B singer named Zanaya Monet, a digital alter ego that lets her turn her poetry into music. Now, Zanaya has a #1 single on a Billboard R&B chart and a multi-million-dollar offer for a recording deal, and on the country charts.
Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song.
An AI-generated country singer named Breaking Rust just hit #1.
And not everyone's cheering. Some fans of Zanaya say they felt misled after learning she was not human.
Coming up, forget murder hornets, the new bee that is. It's all the buzz.
Plus, what's being called the new sock from Apple. Time to check the pulse, and we begin with a new product from Apple for your phone.
It's called the iPhone Pocket, so it's basically a sleeve. Some are calling it a sock to store your phone.
It's a collaboration with the designer of Steve Jobs' turtlenecks. The longer pocket costs $230. Next, our favorite toys are back.
We are getting our first glimpse of Woody and Buzz in Toy Story 5. They face a high-tech takeover in the form of a frog-shaped tablet named LilyPad.
Hi there, I'm LilyPad. Let's play.
The movie is out next June. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen return as Woody and Buzz. Next, a new insect discovered in Australia.
Yeah, it's the Lucifer bee. It's a native species with distinctive horns. The horns are only found on the females.
Don't like that name, but it also brings back memories of the murder hornet recently eradicated in the U.S. Next here, the beauty pageant contestant who stunned the world.
Ignacia Fernandez went viral after her performance during the Miss World Chile pageant. The death metal singer has now taken home the crown and will represent Chile in the Miss World competition. Top headlines next.
Checking more top stories, the government shutdown could be hours away from ending. The House today is expected to vote on a funding bill passed in the Senate. The bill leaves out Democrats' demand to extend Obamacare subsidies, and even if the government reopens, flight delays at airports could linger for days.
The search for a missing coal miner in West Virginia remains a rescue mission. That's according to the governor. The miner has been missing since Saturday when the crew hit water.
A developing story from Ukraine, an associate of President Zelensky is under investigation in connection with an energy corruption scheme involving kickbacks. And just today, the government's justice minister was suspended.
Protesters, some armed with weapons, were able to storm into the UN climate conference in Brazil, clashing with security. 2 guards were injured in the chaos.
Today's weather, another cold start for the east and south with record lows in Florida, and a new storm brings heavy rain to the west coast.
And finally, one special dog.
And that's in any language. Danny New explains.
¿Qué pasa? Do you know Spanish?
This is the grande eureka moment.
¿Vamos afuera?
When Monica Matute here realized why her foster dog, Nacho, had not been too responsive whenever she said something in English.
I had not thought of asking him anything in Spanish, and which is ironic because he's a Chihuahua.
This video from late September now has more than 10 million views on Instagram.
Vamos.
Taken just 3 days after Monica brought in Nacho from Wags and Walks Adoption Center in Los Angeles. He had initially been found roaming around the building for days without a microchip.
I started talking to him in Spanish, and it was the most energetic we had seen him.
But despite all this online attention, Monica says the right fit for adoption did not emerge, and the rescue thought he might have better success at its partner organization in Portland, Oregon. Well, this announcement suddenly gave one of Nacho's many fans an idea.
Nancy, how did you find him online originally?
So Nancy was confused as to why he wasn't adopted in California.
Nancy here and her husband Rick live near Seattle, and a few days later, they found themselves driving 3 hours to try and adopt this famous Spanish-speaking perro.
Rick sat on a bench and he jumped into Rick's lap, and it was like, okay, well, that's that.
Needless to say, they brought him home, and now, a week and a half later,
¿Dónde estás?
rest assured Nacho is getting plenty of love in his native tongue. And for Monica, after a month of trying to help this dog find a home, she had this to say during her first time chatting over video with his new mama.
I just couldn't be happier that he ended up with Nancy.
For the record, guys, Nancy has now changed Nacho's name to Rogelio Montoya in honor of Inigo Montoya in The Princess Bride, but she says that she mostly just calls him Mijo, which means my son.
And that's your Good Morning America first look.
Have a great day.